In the previous section, section 6, we had a look at telescopes and some of their basic properties and how they work. And reality is that without proper instrumentation, having really big and fancy telescopes is kind of pointless. In section 7, we'll be talking about the other side of taking data, which is to do with astronomical instrumentation. We'll have a look at how modern astronomical instruments work, how we actually take data, the fact that raw data is really not what we need to do science. So we'll have a brief discussion about how we can reduce it, and finally, how we can obtain measurements out of data. These are the topics that we'll be covering on section 7. You can find, as always, all the details in the lecture notes, and these are also the contents of this playlist for section 7. One of the things we'll try to do in this section is try to understand how we can take pictures like this. In case you don't know, this is the Hubble Ultra Deep Field. It is the deepest optical and near-infrared image ever obtained by humankind. And you can think that we can take electromagnetic radiation, such as this, and transform it directly into physics. But the reality is that that's simply not possible. And therefore, there are plenty of processes that we need to take into account. For example, once we have electromagnetic radiation, we need to build telescopes to actually capture it. Telescopes need to have detectors to actually detect that electromagnetic radiation. And also the raw data that we capture from the electronics don't really give us what we need. And we need a process that we call data reduction. Then we need to analyze the data before we can actually do some physics with it. The other important thing to realize is that images such as these, even though you can see color, you can see sort of bluer or redder galaxies, the way you actually obtain them is by combining images. Most of the data captured in astronomy is sort of monochromatic. It will just tell you about the XY positions and then some intensity, which will correspond to flux. And if you want to have an image like this, you typically need to take images in a red filter, in a blue filter, in a green filter, and then you assign those intensities to colors before you can actually produce an image like this, when you essentially pile them all up and then export them. So typically, these images will be reported as fake RGB images because this is how they are produced. The important aspect to really point out is that even though we can think that from electromagnetic radiation we can infer the physics, there are other steps that we need to take in terms of detecting it, getting it to raw data, and then all the processes that go after it before we can actually do physics with it.